My name is Nassine Saps.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
And this is a fake plane right there. I don't know if you guys can make it out or not. And you hear the dog barking? The dogs know what's up. That dog always barks when these planes come out. He always starts barking. This guy changed his position. He wasn't there before. He moved up in the sky. This guy moved up. This guy moved up. This guy moved up. He moved up in the sky. He wasn't there before, and now all of a sudden he's there. I mean, this is so blatantly obvious. The whole sky is fake. We haven't seen the real sky in how many, I don't even know how long. The whole sky is fake. So, that's it. Look at him. See him? I don't have some super duper mega zoom camera here. So, that's that guy. And I really don't even know what else to say. Just wake up. Please wake up before it's too late. Stop voting. Voting doesn't matter. Voting is an illusion. Anyway, that's it.
In the last several days, we've had these two shootings at these military bases, Navy bases, actually. At Pearl Harbor in Hawaii and at Pensacola, Florida. And I'm just looking at these articles and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, the Pearl Harbor shooting, the shooter's name was Gabriel Romero. We could go into this guy's name alone, and he happens to be 22 years old, right? But we had an admiral, whatever he is, the commander of the base, comes out in a press statement that everything unfolded in 23 seconds in a packed area, and he uses that number, 23. How would he know that it's 23 seconds? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, these things jump out to me, because this is all about the 23 and 23. The 46. It's a DNA thing. It's a blood thing. Okay? It's spiritual and it's natural because it's baked into us. So there is a natural DNA connection to this. But science is not going to tell you and me if they in fact have discovered, something with the DNA. Lord knows that they want nothing more than to play with your DNA now. That's the big thing. It's like, give us your DNA. Give us your DNA. We'll tell you who your family was. And all this kind of stuff. But it's related directly to the DNA. And the separation, the wheat and the tares, that's your 2346, okay? You have two 23s there. Well, when you are reborn in the Spirit of the living God through Jesus Christ, by His blood, it's a separation. You're reborn. You're literally spiritually regenerated, and a natural physical change happens within you. When you experience this, you know it. There's no questioning it, right? And from henceforth, you're walking in that spirit. Otherwise, the deceptions and the temptations of this world will draw you back in, and there you are again, sitting right in the middle of it. What I'm showing you is the tares and how they operate, and that this separation is in fact underway. Okay, you got to choose who you're going to serve. So the guy's name's Gabriel Romero. You know, Gabriel, and I had a commenter comment on this. I had forgotten it. I read it once before, that Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, according to Islam, is the angel that gave the Quran to Muhammad, right? And the shooter in Pensacola happens to be named Muhammad, right? And then one of the first victims they came out with in Pensacola, his name was Joshua Caleb Watson. Okay, now just hold on to that for a minute because I want to finish the Pearl Harbor thing. The Gabriel Romeo, okay, the link to Muhammad over there, and also the Alfa Romeo, there's a lot of history behind that. If you just go look at some of their logos and just their history and whatnot, their logo is and always has been a serpent devouring a man with a cross, because again, that's a whole nother video. And it's depicting Genesis 6. Ezra 9, when they come back from Babylon, they discover that they've all, even the priests and the leaders of Israel, have blended themselves and mixed their seed with the Canaanites, with the sons of Anak. This is what's going on. And this is what we're dealing with, both physically and spiritually. There is such deceit. You cannot compete with the cunningness of Satan. You need the Spirit of the living God. The Holy Spirit must be your teacher and guide. It's just that simple. Through the Word, who is Christ. But the whole thing, the article with the Pearl Harbor shooting, I'll leave it in the description. It unfolded in 23 seconds at the place where more than 2,300 Americans were killed. And one of the victims' mothers comes out and she's weeping and she says, "I'm so sorry, Anak ko," meaning my child or my son in a Filipino language, but Anak. In the Pensacola shooting, Joshua Caleb Watson happens to be 23 years old, right? And Joshua and Caleb are in Numbers 13-14, the scouts that went into the promised land, saw the giants, the sons of Anak, and 10 of the 12 said, "We can't take on those guys." But Joshua and Caleb said, "Let's go get them right now. We can take them. Let's go." And then all the murmuring that the other ones did caused them to have to wander in the desert. They all died, except for Joshua and Caleb. I mean, these are just things, you guys, that I see. Watson, his last name, Watson, right? The IBM Watson. And I was just talking about Merkel and Hitler on the last video. Well, that's what IBM was Hitler's devised machines, devices they created to operate and manage Hitler's Nazi machine. All the logistics, statistics, create an efficient, systematic fear through deceit, and of course, death control. That's what Watson, IBM, did for Hitler. And Watson just happens to be the father of Q, as in the IBM Q, quantum computer. You guys, that's who this is, doing this. Listen to Gordy Rose. He tells you exactly who they are.
D-Wave builds quantum computers. The way that they work, if you know how this works, is one of the interpretations is that you tap into these parallel universes. Yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, and these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. Nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background, and underneath it all is this rising tsunami that is going to wipe us all out.
These are the fallen entities, you guys. These are the powers and principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. And I've already made a 12-minute video just on these two things, leading to the Kanye thing. But it's just revealing the tares, it's revealing the works of the devil in these last days, trying as hard as he can to usher as many people down that broad road that leads to destruction. You understand? That's the whole point. And he'll come in Jesus' name, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Okay? It's all about the heart, people. That's where he hears from. You understand? And this stuff here is going to have to be a separate video on the Kanye thing. But I'm telling you, just between Merkel, Hitler, the whole connection to the fallen, to the Nephilim, the giants, the things they're doing with the DNA. But God gives us this understanding. And check it out. I have to show you this before I go. Look at this random Bible verse that I got this morning. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass, darkly. But then, face to face, now I know in part. But then shall I know even as also I am known. Verse 12. But that's what I got. So take this with discernment, take it to the Word, take it to prayer. But this is what we're seeing. We are witnessing the apocalypse, the revealing of that dark world that is coming to that final battle.
Gary H. Carr, remember, speaks of the ancient mystery religion controlled by Freemasonry and the Illuminati and the World Council of Churches. Now, what if the true mystics behind the scene, the power mongers, are really in Rome, and that they control everything, including this other religion, through insiders? And then, if you put all the pieces together with all the references that there are tremendous links between the Templars and the Islamic secret societies, the Ismailis, the Karmatites, the Fatimites, the Druzes, and the Assassins. Now, the Assassins were interesting because they would kill themselves to gain an advantage. They could blow themselves up to destroy others. Do we have something like that today? Oh, yes. So nothing's changed. History is repeating itself. Now, who were these secret societies that were in cahoots with the Templars, or did the Templars control them? Who knows? Let's read about the assassins. Degrees of the assassins was thus as follows. First, there was the Grand Master, known as Sheikh al-Yabal, or Old Man of the Mountain. Second, the Dial Kerbi, the Grand Priors. Third, the fully initiated Dias. Fourth, the Rashifs, the Associates. Fifth, the Fadais, devoted. Sixth, the Lasiks, or Law Brothers. And lastly, the common people, who were to be simply blind instruments. Does it sound familiar? The poor blind Goyim's catechumens. Designs against religion were, of course, not admitted by the order. Strict uniformity to Islam was demanded from all the lower rank of uninitiated, but the adept was taught to see through the deception of faith and works. So here we have a whole nation's subject to these insiders, using them as human cattle. Wouldn't you feel sorry for them, like we have to feel sorry for ourselves, because we've been duped like that as well? Thus, by the law of paradise, the assassins enlisted instruments for their criminal work and established a system of organized murder on the basis of religious fervor. Nothing is true and all is allowed was the ground of their secret doctrine. The Jesuits have the same doctrine today, which, however, being imparted but to a few and concealed under the veil of the utmost austere religionism and piety, restrained the mind under the yoke of blind obedience. So here are the men of Islam. Who are these insiders? Who are these ayatollahs? Should the world be afraid? The world is meant to be afraid. Are you with me? So you have thesis, you have antithesis. In the world wars, they said, communism is the threat. You are supposed to be afraid, so that you will accept any changes that are necessary to meet the threat. Now, they're using this as the next threat to create the synthesis that they want. They're going to rub up two religions against each other: Christianity, Judeo-Christian culture, Islamic culture, rub them up and destroy each other until what is left? Synthesis. And then you have one world religion, and Lucifer rejoices because he's king. Isn't that what Albert Pike said, what he was going to do?